All right, so what I did is I took the extractor and the firing pin block out of here. So if you look over here, no extractor, no firing pin block. Okay, so what I have here, a bunch of cases that I put some new primers in. Okay, so these are the CCI small pistol primers, number 550 CCI. I already did this test earlier with a different G43. Okay, so I wanted to, I wanted to test it on another one. Now, in order for this test to work, basically on my G19, 26, and 17s that I tested, I'm not able to reach in there and drop the sear. Okay, on what it seems is that the sear, the sear has to actually move back in order for it to drop. On some of my Glock 43s, the same is the case. Like the one I'm carrying, I cannot just stick this in there, push down on it. On some of them, like this one and a different one I tested, I am able to push on it. So there's a tolerance stacking issue there, right? So with the G43s, on some of them, this will work. On others, it will not work, right? Now, on the ones that it doesn't work, if you pick up the slack and push down, it will drop it. But the question is, if you don't push it back, can you drop the sear? So only on some of them, some of the ones I have built, you can do it. I suspect that because this has the slide came from one place, the frame I built. I suspect if you get factory Glock 43s, that's not going to be the case. Like in all cases, I suspect that sear is going to have to move back, right? It's going to have to move back in order for you to drop it. So yeah, just give you guys a closer look here. Nothing in there, right? So let's lock this open. I'm going to take one of these cases. All right, I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to close it, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 1/8 punch and I'm going to just drop that sear. You heard that click? Nothing. Did not set it off. Now there's no extractor here, so I gotta. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't even kiss it. Earlier, it was like kissing it. Let's do this again. Put that in there. Close it. Gonna push down on it. I can see that the firing pin has moved forward. All right, we can see it through the hole. Oh yeah, actually there was a tiny little. This time it just nicked it a little bit. It might be an issue with like when I sat this, because this one seems to have less of a mark than the earlier ones I did. It might have been that when I seated this, maybe it went a little bit deeper. Let's take this same one. We're going to put it in there, and this time I'm actually going to pull the trigger. Okay, so now I'm going to pull the trigger. Okay. That time, it fully impacted the primer, and it set it off. Let's do one more. Again, this is the second gun. I'm actually going to put this video at the beginning of the video, even though it's second, just because it gets kind of straight to the point. So I'm going to close this, okay, all the way forward. Take this, I'm going to push down on that sear. Nope. Right, sear drop. Yeah, this one left a little bit more. All right, so now I'm going to take the same one. I'm going to put it in there. Okay, I'm going to press, and now I'm actually going to press the trigger all the way back. Work. All right. Let's see how that's been hit. We're gonna do one more. Okay. So again, these are CCI primers. Close it, push it, make sure it's all the way forward. Take this, push down on it, bring it close so you can hear the click. Nope, nothing there. Click, nothing, no bang, and no pop. Push that out. Right there. Really light strike. Put this in there. Now I'm actually going to press trigger. I'll do left so you can see it. That's it. I'm 100% satisfied that my G43 that I carry, okay, cannot fire when it is partially cocked if the sear were to drop. Okay. Now I'm gonna talk about this more in the second part of this video, but it seems on like some of my G43s, there's tolerance stacking issues where I am able to reach in and press down on the sear and get it to go down. On some of the other ones I have, it won't go down. Like I actually have to move the trigger back in order for it to get pushed down. But in either case, it partially cocked, it will not set off the primer. Okay, so that's just fact. I mean, tested it out. I'm surprised other people haven't posted videos on this. I was only able to find one video, and it was tested outside the gun using measurements. So here it's actually tested in the gun, and I mean, the facts are facts, man. So drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, and please do comment, because YouTube has changed their algorithm, and it's based on engagement. Okay, so the more comments you have, the more the video gets pushed out there, more people see it. I do not monetize this channel. I don't make any money on any of my videos. The only way I make money is by actually training people in person. Okay, and most of the people I train are brand new newbies. Right, so I do not make any money on these videos. I'm just trying to share the information out there. And basically just promote the overall gun community. Okay, so drop some comments. Talk to you soon. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be testing to see if a partially cocked Glock 43, or in this case Glock 43 clone, okay, can fire from the partially cocked position. Okay, so when you rack the slide, the firing pin is partially cocked. I've heard numbers like 58% cocked. And then what happens is when you pick up the slack, you're completing the cocking action, right? And you get to a wall, and then you press it, and then it breaks, okay? So normally when you carry this in your holster, it is partially cocked. So the question has come up, is there enough energy in that firing pin, or enough tension in that firing pin, so that it could set off a primer from the partially cocked position if it were to slip off the sear and the firing pin block were to fail. Okay, so somebody in the comments of one of my SIG 320 videos, right, because this is where all this stuff is coming from now, because everybody's concerned about uncommanded discharges. How safe is the Glock actually? Okay, so somebody pointed me to a video where somebody had measured how far back that firing pin is, and they kind of replicated it outside of the gun and tested it, and they were getting the primers to go off. However, it was outside of the gun, so I'm like, you know what? Like, I can't say that's 100%. I can't say with 100% certainty that is or is not. Okay, so I said I really would like to test this inside of the gun. Okay, so it seemed like a pretty simple thing to do. I was originally going to do it with a Glock 17, and what I did is I simply put this down. I removed the extractor, and I removed the firing pin block. Let me make sure it's in focus. All right, so that's easy enough to do, right? There's nothing there. All that's in there right now is the firing pin okay, and I had one of these cut off back plates here, and the idea was that I was going to basically reach in with this 1/8 punch and basically push down, right? Because what happens when the slide comes back, right? That gets pushed over, the sear comes up, right? And then all I would have to do is kind of reach in here with this 1/8 and just push down on it, and that would drop the sear. Okay, so that was how I was going to do this test. I was going to do it with both the G17 and the G43. Okay. By the way, as far as like the auto sears, that's how they work. On the back plate, right? On the back plate here, there's a little leaf that's basically attached, and it just comes forward when the slide comes forward. The blade comes in and it just presses down on the on that cruciform. That's how the full autos work. Okay? So in this case, I just want to reach in there and push down on this, and without a firing pin block in here or even an extractor, I wanted to see if that would set off the primers. And what I did is I made a whole bunch of these. I made about 10 of these cases that have primers only. Right, those are CCI primers. Right, very popular, very common. Okay, but I did run into a problem with the G17. Okay, so with the G17, and it's a good thing to know. Even when I push in on this and press down, I can't get that sear to drop. Okay, so it appears that you have to actually take up that slack, right? See how I'm taking up the slack there? You have to actually take off. Let me get behind the camera. You have to actually take up that slack so that the sear moves back a little bit, so that you can push down on it and drop it. Okay, because if the trigger doesn't move back, like no matter how hard I tried a whole bunch of different Allen keys and star keys, there's no way that I can actually move that sear down. Okay, so the sear actually has to come back to get some clearance, right? So again, in this case, I'm gonna go to the wall, right? And only then can I push down on the sear and get it to drop. Okay, and I tested this on at least 6 of these Glock clones that I have, and on none of them could I get that sear to drop by just pushing down. You know, basically that trigger needed to move back. It needed to complete the cocking action. So I'm like, okay, well that kind of screws up this test. I mean, it's good in the sense that these Glock clones, the 17, 19, 26, because they all have the same internal size parts. Like they're really safe in the sense that that trigger must move back, right, in order to get the clearance for that sear to drop. Now, I said, okay, well that screws up that test. I made all these cases for nothing. Let's try the G43. So with the G43, it turns out, and I said this way back, the reputation and the reliability and durability of the Glock 17, 19, and 26 do not necessarily carry over to the 43, right, or the 43X or anything, because they use different parts. So with this one, what I found is on some of them, right, like on this one over here, right, when I reach in there and push down on it, I can't get it to go off, right? So a number of the G43s that I have, including the one I carry, when I push down on the sear, there's not enough clearance for that sear to drop. I actually have to pick up, right, if I push down on it, there's not enough clearance for it to drop. I actually have to pick up the slack, then I can push down on it. And this one really doesn't want to drop. Okay, so this is a super safe one. I would have to, it's a smaller part, I have to apply more pressure. So on some of them though, like this one over here, okay, even without putting my finger on the trigger, I can get it to drop. Okay, and I got another one over here. Just by putting this 1/8 in there, I can push down and I got it to drop, right? You can hear that clicking. All right, I can get it to drop. So with your G26, 17, and 19, you know, even with the frames and the slides coming from different manufacturers, because they're all from different manufacturers, it seems like I can't get that sear to drop when I push it down. With the 43, on some of them I can, on some of them I can't. Okay, so a new test that I have is now if I'm going to carry a G43, it has to pass that test where if I put the you know, a 1/8 punch in there and push down on it, it's not, you know, the sear will not drop. Right, there needs to be some rearward motion in order to create some clearance so that sear can drop. So this comes down to tolerance stacking issues, right? So this one over here, this one's got like a Brownell slide on a P80 loader. So here you've got the tolerances ended up being at like the opposite extremes, where I can push down on this and drop that sear. So on this one over here, I have, let me open this up. Okay, as you can see here, I have removed the extractor and I have removed the firing pin block, right? So there's no firing pin block in there. So with this one, okay, when I rack it, it's partially cocked. I can push here, push down on it, okay, and I can clearly see now through that hole where the extractor is, right? Because the extractor, I can see that the firing pin has actually moved forward. Okay, so let's try this now with these cases. I forgot to bring a magazine. Hold on, I'm gonna go get a magazine. Yeah, actually, I don't even need a magazine. I can just put it straight in there. Yeah, I'm just gonna put straight in there because there's no extractor, so the extractor doesn't even need to jump over this. All right. Okay. I don't think I need ear protection. Okay, so let's push down on this. All right. So I've never tried this. I'm doing this first. I'm gonna push down on this. No, did not set it off. Did not set it off. Now, of course, this is not going to extract because there's no extractor in there. And clearly you can see how it's kissed it. But on the G43, it did not have enough energy to set this off. Okay, let's do another one. Of course, it starts raining when I'm doing a video, but anyway. So we got another one in there. I'm going to push down on this. Nope, it's not setting it off. So there's not, on the G43, there is not enough energy. There you go, there you go. Just kissed it. There's not enough energy in there to set off this primer. Let's do this. Let's put this in there now. This is the one that's just been kissed. Right? I'm gonna put this in there, and I'm actually gonna pull the trigger now. I'm gonna fully cock it. Yeah, it needs to be fully cocked. Okay, this is the other one here that was just kissed before, right? So same deal. I'm gonna put this in there. All right, same deal. It's setting it off. That is a very interesting test. I actually feel a lot more comfortable now about carrying my G43. But it's also interesting with the G43, and I said this way back with the G43s, don't just assume that the reliability, durability, you know, years of development on the G17, 26, and 19 carry over to the G43 because they use entirely different parts. So I do have some more of these. I'm gonna save them. Maybe I'll test them on this one over here. So that's what. In order for this test to work, we have to be able to, like, the tolerances have to be far enough apart that I can get in there and drop that sear. I can't do it on this gun. I can do it on this one. I'm gonna do it. You want? I'm gonna pull the extractor and the firing pin block out of this one, and we're gonna test this one too. Yeah. So again, these are CCI primers. Close it, push it, make sure it's all the way forward. Take this, push down on it, bring it close so you can hear the click. Nope, nothing there. Click, no bang, and no pop. Push that out. Right there. Really light strike. Put this in there. Now I'm actually going to press trigger. I'll do left so you can see it. That's it. I'm 100% satisfied that my G43 that I carry, okay, cannot fire when it is partially cocked if the sear were to drop. Okay,